Good afternoon, everybody. We have a number of bills for this hearing. We're going to start with intros 421A, 689A, and 690A, which will ensure that investigations by the Human Rights Commission are fair, transparent, and efficient. Intro 421A requires the Human Rights Commission to report the number of investigations it conducts and how many result in civil action. It's sponsored by Councilmember Darlene Mealy. Welcome, Councilmember. This process will increase transparency, make the public more aware of the actions of the Human Rights Commission. Intros 689A and 690A will require the Human Rights Commission to investigate discrimination in housing and employment, respectively, sponsored by Council Members Mealy and Brad Lander. And this will test how the application hold on, let me get this right. Yes. This will test how different protected classes are treated when they apply for either a job or housing. If there's an incident of discrimination that is found through this investigation, that will be referred to the Law Enforcement Bureau. We are committed as administration to guaranteeing fairness in housing and employment. The Human Rights Commission is a powerful tool in that process. We want to make sure it is doing all it can to protect our fellow New Yorkers and keep these processes fair for all New Yorkers. I want to thank Speaker Melissa Mark Viverito for her support for these pieces of legislation. I want to thank my counsel, Maya Wiley. I want to now introduce, I think it's her first time she's speaking at City Hall, the chair of the Human Rights Commission, Carmelyn Malalas. And you get here, you can get the step or no step. Let's decide what you prefer. Yours is,
I almost want to be challenged without the step.
You want to be without the step. Okay, that's in solidarity. There you go. Excellent.
I'll try it out. There we go. Well, we at the Commission are very excited about these bills and how they will continue to build on the existing testing work of the Commission. We are excited about how these bills consistently help to strengthen our robust protections of the human rights law under the variety of protections that are afforded under the law. And we are excited about continuing to work with the Council and the administration to make sure that all New Yorkers receive the dignity and the respect that they deserve. So thank you all.
Thank you very much. And you didn't need the step at all. You have stature. All right. Now I'd like to thank and introduce the sponsor of these pieces of legislation, Councilmember Darlene Mealy, who will take the step. All right. A little extra height never hurts. Wow. There you go.
Wow, that's true. I want to thank our mayor and the speaker, Mark Viverito. As the chair of Civil Rights, the Committee on Civil Rights, I'm proud to have sponsored this intro 421A and 690A. And I congratulate my colleague, Councilmember Brad Lander, who's also intro 689, we all sponsored together. I'm grateful to the mayor, de Blasio, for the dedication to reinvigorating the Human Rights Commission. By signing this necessary legislation, I call it common sense legislation. The bills he is signing will provide our Human Rights Commission with the framework to become truly proactive agency. For too long, the Commission has been starved of funds and staffing, requiring to fulfill the statutory duties of that committee. Intro 689 and 690 will not only create housing and employment testing programs, but will require the Commission to hire additional staff for the implementation. This will add much-needed personnel to the Commission, whose budget and staff have been drastically cut and reduced since 1992. In addition to the testing programs created by Intro 689, and Intro 690 and the introduction of 421A will shed significant light on the investigations that the Human Rights Commissioner initiates by requiring the Commission to include those investigations that they initiated at an annual report to the City Council. And that's the first time that will be done. I also would like to thank our Speaker, Mark Viverito, for her support for these bills and her commitment to the civil rights of all New Yorkers. I look forward to the implementation of this legislation and seeing the results of a newly energized Human Rights Commission. And I thank the new commissioner, and I know we're going to work together to do a great and fabulous job for this whole city. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. Thank you very, very much. And now I'd like to welcome Councilmember Brad Lander, who's also the sponsor of the second bill.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and to Chair Mealy, and to the Minority Leader for being my cheerleading committee, and especially in this case to Commissioner Morales, who's coming onto the scene just as we were passing these bills, is really an outstanding sign of our shared commitment with the Mayor and the administration to move forward in enforcing our human rights law in some new and wonderfully strong ways. And she's also a constituent, so I'm very happy about that.
Higher Brooklyn.
So New York City has and has had for many years the strongest human rights law of any municipality in the country, in addition to the traditional categories that we defend for discrimination in housing, in employment, in public accommodations, race, age, gender. We also protect people around gender identity and a whole series of other things. So because we know it doesn't make sense to discriminate against people in those areas, and especially not in housing, where we want to make sure we have an inclusive and diverse city. Our law goes stronger because a certain former council member of the 39th District put New York City at the forefront of source of income discrimination and making sure that if you've got a Section 8 certificate or a housing voucher, you can't be discriminated against. But we see rampant discrimination based on source of income, despite that excellent law, because for 20 years we have failed to enforce that first-in-class human rights law. And what I'm so pleased about today is that thanks to the commitment of the mayor and a new commissioner, thanks to the commitment of the council and our desire to help bring more resources to advance and support the human rights law, and thanks to these new bills sponsored by Chair Mealy and the Housing Discrimination Testing Bill, we're going to, for the first time in a long time, put the city on offense. Not just wait for people to bring discrimination claims, but to make sure that there's proactive testing programs. So where we suspect landlords are discriminating, paired testers or other kinds of testing models will go out proactively, look for those worst cheaters, those worst violators of our laws. You send pairs of people out, one black, one white, one straight, one gay, in these one with, one without a housing voucher. You root out discrimination, you conduct those investigations, you achieve enforcement, and you also let other landlords know the city's out there watching. This is a kind of discrimination you can't do. So it not only gets at those individual investigations, but when it's in the news that they're happening, it functions as the best kind of outreach you can get, that this is our human rights law, and we're enforcing it just like we do any other law. So I want to thank the advocates who have helped for so long to keep the human rights law alive and the Human Rights Commission a focus of attention, even when that wasn't happening in this room. I want to thank the staff of the council who worked on these bills. I want to thank the administration and the chair and the speaker and the mayor, and finally just especially welcome the new commissioner who we're looking forward to working with as a great partner. Next up is our work together to make sure you have the resources that you need to do this job. So thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, council member. Many wise statements. Your wisest may have been that great things come from the 39th Council District. I had the honor, yes, 39th Council District, near and dear to my heart. I had the honor of voting in participatory budgeting on Saturday.
Thank you.
Beautiful day. And I want to just note that Councilmember Brad Lander has initiated something that will be a great reform in this country. It is outdoor voting. Outdoor voting, much more pleasant. With that, let's sign this legislation into law.
Four.
You're sure?
Yes.
No one else. Looking for my signal.
Go for it, sir. All you.
You don't want any of the staff.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
People who did the work will get to stand up here.
Two more.
Give me a
Six.
new number whenever
6
it's
total.
Okay. I've now begun the time. Madam Chair. They're ready. Okay, so last pen. Right?
Someone missing? Mine? Just one?
I think pen for sure. That pen.
That's it? That's it?
Of course mine. Free pen? Come on down. Okay. All right, now. So just sign through, or do you need any?
Sign through.
Okay. Landry, you're gonna get one of these. Sign the bills and sign. Thank you. Bill, roll on. Okay, it's a potpourri of topics today. It's never dull around here. Amen. People stick together. Okay. All right, Mr. Ignizio. I think you're next. Yes. Okay. Now we're going to talk about Intro 656, which establishes the South Shore Business Improvement District, sponsored by the inimitable Councilmember Vinny Ignizio, my former colleague. Just think about what it's like to be trapped in a budget room with Vinny Ignizio year after year. That's what happened to me, but sitting next to us. We were actually on the same side on most things. The bid will serve the neighborhoods of Great Kills, Eltingville, and Annandale in Staten Island. The bid will help local businesses thrive and improve the community's quality of life. Bids do a lot. They invest in security. They invest in sanitation for the business district, marketing, holiday lighting, so many things that make it a more appealing place to shop and promote a better quality of life in the surrounding neighborhood. We are very committed to 5-borough economic growth. We believe the only kind of growth is 5-borough economic growth. And bids play a crucial role in that. We want to make sure our efforts reach every neighborhood of this city, and the South Shore bid will certainly be an important part of that. I want to thank Speaker Melissa Mark Viverito for her support. And now I'd like you to hear from the woman who does so much to protect and strengthen our small businesses all over New York City, Small Business Services Commissioner Maria Torres Springer. There you go. Yes, you will. Yeah, it's okay. It's all good.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I am thrilled to be here today to celebrate the establishment of the South Shore Business Improvement District. It is a significant milestone as it is the second bid formed in this administration, the third bid in Staten Island, and the city's 71st bid. We're proud to announce with this bid now every council district in Staten Island is home to a business improvement district. So as many of you know, New York City is home to the largest bid network in the country, and today we are proud to say that it is continuing to grow. Bid formation is truly a collaborative effort, requires local business owners, property owners, local officials, and the administration to really come together to support a neighborhood and help them meet their needs. We would not be here today without the support of Borough President James Otto, Councilmember Jalissa Ferreras for her leadership on the Council's Finance Committee, and of course, Councilmember Vinny Ignizio, who was a tireless advocate and supporter of this bid, and I really want to thank him for all of his work and support. Also want to commend the efforts of the Bid Steering Committee, chaired by Gail Castellano, and also recognize the support of the Staten Island Economic Development Corporation, who provided, again, a lot of support and assistance to get this bid off the ground, and of course, the team at SBS. At SBS, we are committed to ensuring that the city's 71 bids receive the services and assistance that they need and to succeed, because they are not only making our streets safer and cleaner, but are also helping to build the neighborhoods where New Yorkers shop, work, and live. So congratulations to the South Shore bid. We are very excited for all of the great things you will do for Staten Island, for the city. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Councilmember Ignizio, before I bring you up, I just want to let you know I had the honor on Saturday of being in Councilmember Mattio's district for the opening of the Little League there. And very elaborate transactions going on now where the mayor's office softball team is trying to acquire Borough President Jimmy Otto through a series of trades, transactions, minor league shortstop draft picks. We're trying to find a clever way to disable Councilmember Mattio because he was too much of a problem for us on the council team. Yes, so you may have to step up into that slugger role for the next game. I just want to let you know that. Thank you for all you've done for this bid. We welcome Councilmember Vinny Ignizio.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. You really want me on your opposing baseball team. How bad I am at baseball.
Definitely want you to replace
now,
Mattio.
On your soccer team, being the European, Italian-American descent that I am, the soccer team is where you want me. All right, just FYI, in case you start one of those intramural leagues. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Mr. Mayor. This is a great day for me. It's a great day for my community. 5 years in the making. We started with a merchant association and then an LDC and ultimately a bid to be able to show the businesses what they would get ultimately in services if we had bid formation. That model is now being replicated in 3 other places in Staten Island. This is a little bit of groundbreaking too, because we use the train. Because Staten Island has such small towns, you couldn't have a bid with just one little town. We use the train as the connector to the 3 of them, and that's the first time that's been done, and that is being looked upon to be replicated as well. The great commissioner you have here from SBS, when I met with her several months ago, she said, we'll get it done. And thank you, Commissioner, you did get it done, and I appreciate that. And just as a side, this bid was responsible, the security of which, for one of the largest drug takedowns in Staten Island's history, Mr. Mayor. So it shows that not only does it help the community and increases economic development, but it also makes sure the community stays safe and keeps the level of security that we want. I'm so grateful to people at SBS and Anthony Rapacciolo and Frank Rapacciolo from my office, Tanisha, and Ray have been great help. Gail Castellano, SIEDC, Cesar Claro, and I'm just really looking forward to signing this bill. If you sign this bill, Mr. Mayor.
But you could sign it.
I could sign it too.
I don't know if it's legal, but you could sign it. All right. You mentioned Anthony Rapacciolo, and he, in fact, is the first public speaker today. Anthony, step forward.
Am I good? Is it on?
Yes, it is.
Quick, my clock is supposed to tick, isn't it? No, I just want to say that today's a great day for not only small businesses in Staten Island, but also the borough as a whole. And I'd like to thank the mayor for signing this and also our councilman, Vinny Ignizio, for having the foresight 5 years ago to really support the small businesses of Staten Island, which really, in our borough, are the backbone. So thank you, Councilman Ignizio, and thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Now, Gail Castellano, who is a steering committee member for the bid.
Thank you. And I'd also like to thank our councilman for his support of small business, and also like to thank you, Mayor, for signing this bill into effect, into law. It's a great day for Staten Island, for the South Shore communities of Eltingville, Annandale, and Great Kills, and I'm thrilled to be here, and it's a win-win for the business communities and also the communities at large. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And finally, from Staten Island EDC, Cesar Claro, who I've known now for over 20 years. Hail, Cesar.
Hello, Mr. Mayor. It's an honor to be back here. As you may recall, we were here in November for the signing of the West Shore Industrial Business Improvement District bill. Now, today, South Shore. So we're halfway done, Vinny, in covering the borough, and I'm sure we'll be back under your administration for the rest of the borough. Great team at SBS, great leadership by the councilman, and great leadership by Gail and the steering committee made this happen. So thank you. Mr. Mayor, for everything.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to sign the bill. Bring up anyone you'd like to bring up.
Team SPS, third committee. Anyone else from Council Finance? Right, can you use the entire box? All box. If folks behind you, I think we're good. We're still good. Once. Good. Okay. Good. Check. Double check. Here we go. And the bill is law. Congratulations, well done. Well done. All right.
Yes. Okay. You really, that's because you're legislating. Okay. Now we have intro 497B. This legislation clarifies the recommendations that the Banking Commission makes to the City Council, sponsored by Councilmember Helen Rosenthal. The Banking Commission will provide a more detailed justification for its decisions on interest and discount rates for property taxes, and they'll be sending them to the City Council earlier. This will help the Council make more informed decisions. We support that. And now I want to thank Speaker Melissa Mark Viverito, Finance Commissioner Jacques Jiha, OMB Director Dean Foulahan, Finance Committee Chair Julissa Ferreras, and of course, Council Member Helen Rosenthal. And it will be our pleasure now to hear from Council Member Rosenthal.
Thank you very much. By signing this fiscally responsible bill into law, Mr. Mayor, you are shedding light on the quiet and little understood process of setting the property tax prepaid discount rate and late charges. This bill was brought to you under the leadership of Finance Chair Julissa Ferreras and Speaker Melissa Mark Viverito, and boy, do I thank them. The bill allows the council to review the Banking Commission's analysis and to take into account the city's need for cash, current interest rates, and fiscal stability so that the property tax prepaid discount rate reflects the city's current fiscal needs. By signing this bill, you're giving the city the opportunity to save money by borrowing cash only when necessary, and if necessary, to do so at the lowest possible rate. Coming to a common understanding and agreement around this bill required a lot of hard work. I want to thank OMB, DOF, Department of Finance, the Law Department, and the Mayor's Office, Reggie Thomas, for working with us on this bill. It took a year of phone calls and meetings to negotiate. I'd also like to thank the City Council Finance Division staff, particularly Deputy Director and Chief Economist Ray Majewski, and Chief Counsel Tanisha Edwards, and Assistant Counsel Rebecca Chasen, for their hard work, patience, and support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Patience and support. That's very nice. All right. We're going to just do a few words in Spanish about all the pieces of legislation today. Hoy firmé leyes que harán a nuestra ciudad más justa y más próspera. Una de ellas crea un distrito de promoción de negocios que ayudará con el crecimiento económico de Staten Island. Las otras ayudan a evitar que los neoyorquinos sean discriminados en la vivienda y el empleo. With that, let us sign this last piece of legislation.
Thank you for believing in me. She inspires us all.
It's like chariots of fire or something.
Kind of is.
That's right.
Got 4, sir. 4. No other.
This is great. I'm so proud of this group. Thank you very much.
Why not one for you, Reggie? You worked on it. Come on, Reggie.
Someone put me through the ringer on this. Yeah, you're right. I will take a pen, sir. Thank you.
Come on, join us. Come on.
Maybe if I get a photo next time.
Good. I'm glad for that.
Thanks, sir.
Well deserved. Well deserved. These guys worked so hard.
See you again. We suffered too many, but we oh, yes, we have.
It's all
That's it. All good.
in the spirit of good work.
And the bill is law.
Great.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That is. Thank you. Well done, everyone.
Thank you.
Well done. All right. Walk outside.
Mr. Mayor, accept the draft of the president's